Somebody asked if I can show a little bit of the steps of how to make one of these here makeshift pocket hole jigs, and so that's what this video is going to be about. It's going to be a very quick demonstration of how to make I should say an angled jig for drawing at an angle. I'm starting out with a piece of 3/4 inch board, and I got about an inch wide. You want at least about an inch wide to give enough support for the bit. I'm both cut about maybe 4 inches or so. That's about the length I'm using for this, 4 inches. The sample piece I'm going to use to put the pocket hole in, I'm going to use a piece of 3/4 inch board because 3/4 is pretty well common stock to use for this. And I'm also going to use a different kind of screws. Since I don't have any kind of pocket hole screws, I'm going to try to make this work using everyday screws that we can have around the shop, and mainly that's going to be drywall screws. A bunch of 1/2 inch drywall screws here, and so I'm going to say that I want to use this to join the boards together with. The first thing I need to do then is I'm going to need to find the angle in which I want the screw to enter the board, and I want it to exit pretty close to the center of the board here. So I would say for step one would be to choose the screw I'm going to use and place it on the board where I want to go through, and that's about the center here of the board here, and then just mark that angle. And you can even mark the height here where you want that to enter in at the top of the screw here. That might be important also. Okay, so we have the mark here now for that angle. It's coming down pretty close to the center here, and we have our entrance here. So the next thing we're going to do is transfer that angle. So let's get a bevel square here, and I'll line up that angle here on the bevel square, which is about right there. Okay, so we got the angle now. Next I want to transfer that angle now to a piece of plywood, piece of scrap plywood, and this here scrap plywood needs to be thinner than the jig that we're making, so that this does not get caught in the vise when we go to line it up. I'll go ahead and cut this angle now. That being about 24 degrees in this case here. So okay, I got that in there, cut there like that, and that's going to be our template now for our angle block that we're going to use when we have put the block in the vise like this, and then we're going to mark this across here, and then we're going to do our drilling, and that should give us our angle that we need in order to drill at that angle that we're looking for. Now I have that in my drill vise now at that angle now. Okay, that will go to the drill press now, and we will, well, first of all, before I do that, I need to now mark this across here, level across here. What you do is just put the bevel square on here and then trace across. Now all I need to do is just get the center here now. What I'll do is I'll just go across from corner to corner, and I'll get that marked off here now. Now for my screw, what I'm going to use is I'm using a drill bit here now for the shank of the screw, and it's just a little bit larger than the shank. And for the head of the screw, for the countersink, I'm using a bit that's just a little bit larger than the head of the screw as well. And now these two drill bits, we're going to go over there and going to make the two blocks. One block is going to be for the shank of the screw, and the next block will be for the countersink for the screw head. And let's go to the drill press and now drill these. Okay, that was for the screw head being countersunk block. For the shank of the screw, that's pretty much it right there. Just take the bit now down through here like this, and we'll leave about that much room right there where there's no flute at, and we use that to put into the drill chuck itself. And now what we do is we come over here to our workpiece like this right here, and we bring the whole jig now all the way down until the bit is coming right to the center of our workpiece where we want it, and then we can make a mark on the jig right here. And we have a choice. We can either cut this off right here and just use this block alone, or we can use a second block and make a whole system where we can switch blocks to do not only the threading portion of the screw but also the countersink as well. But if this is all you need right here is just something just to do a quick drilling job to get a screw in a position like this here, this would be it right here. So we'll just go ahead and demonstrate this now. Everything else is just aesthetics now. If I wanted to cut this way here and make it look like a jig, I can just, that's just aesthetics, just a matter of just cutting here and stuff like that. Make it look nice, make it look like a jig. But as far as just using it as a angled drill block, right there it is. That's the procedure right there. Mark set up right here. I'll just clamp that now. Now I will suggest you want to use a hardwood. I'm using a soft pine wood here, and I'll square it up like this here. And that has a tendency to dig when you go to use your drill bit. So you want to use a hardwood for this to make sure that the bit doesn't grind the hole that you've been working on. Now let's give it a try here. I'll take it back a little forward a bit. There we go. Let's take a look at it. Okay, there's a hole coming through the other side. And of course what you do, you adjust your bit's depth and stuff like that too. And you have to adjust the block too to where you really want it at the perfect angle and things. But anyway, there it is right there. So now we can put a screw through here. And then of course we need to countersink the head, which would be the next block that I would use. But that gives you an idea what you can do just to get the angle drilled in your block. It's just a matter of just figuring out your angle with the bevel square and then holding at that angle and drilling it. And I think that gives a good explanation here of how to get this here angled hole drilled for that there. Now if you want to see how this can be done using the next block, then there's going to be a little bit of a system I have to build where I can switch out the blocks. And I'm going to make the new ones out of these here because this is this is just pine board and it's just chewing away on the holes here. So I'll have to get a harder board. But that'll be my next video. I'll make a video where I can interchange blocks and make a system of the screw shank and the head being countersunk without having to use any kind of a step drill. But that'll be the next video. This here is just a quick video just to show how you can get the angle drilled to make a drill block for an angled screw, for an angled drill. Just for a quick recap here, what you do, you want to find out your angle of your screw on your workpiece and then set your bevel square to that. Then cut a piece of plywood to that angle and then use that angle to place a square block against as such. And then you want to get that block squared off. You can use your bevel square to square that off too. And then once you have that set up, put that in your vise at that angle and then drill through and your block is done and you're ready to go and you're ready to use it. I think that's a pretty good explanation there and I hope that helps out. Okay, thanks for watching. Bye.